You wake up underground. Literally, there's a coffin lid above your face and nothing but panic between your lungs and the stale air. You punch through the wood like it's wet paper, clawing your way through cold, damp earth. The soil is thick, suffocating, full of tiny roots that feel like fingers pulling you back down. Your lungs burn, your nails tear, your heart is a jackhammer. You hear the muffled sound of thunder above, like distant applause for your premature resurrection. When you finally break the surface, you gasp like a newborn choking on his first breath. It's night, cemetery, of course. Headstones lean like drunks. Fog rolls in like it has something to hide. Thunder rumbles. Rain begins to drizzle like the universe is spitting on your resurrection. Welcome to Tuesday. The moon is a jaundiced smear above you. Bats circle in the air like nature's drones. A lone owl hoots. It sounds judgmental. Your fingers shake. You wipe dirt from your eyes. Your first sight is a crooked angel statue watching you with chipped stone eyes. Its smile looks like it knows something terrible, and it probably does. A shadow moves behind a tomb. A soft whisper, your name, curls in the fog like cigarette smoke. Welcome to your origin story. You're a son of Hades, Daddy Dearest, god of the Underworld, king of ghost emo vibes and lost souls, master of shadows, father of none, or so the gods like to pretend. He wasn't supposed to break the pact, but Hades always had a thing for rules, and breaking them when they weren't looking. He met your mom on a foggy winter night. She lit a candle in a temple basement. He appeared in a cloud of brimstone, said something poetic about mortality. 9 months later, you. Her reward? Raising a haunted kid with a talent for necromancy and ruining group photos. You weren't just a surprise. You were a cosmic accident dressed in a baby blanket. You cried the first time the lights dimmed in your nursery. You screamed the first time a ghost tried to comfort you. Your first word, don't. Kindergarten. You summon a skeletal raccoon during recess. First grade. You bring a talking skull for show and tell. The principal cries. Third grade. You try to smile more. That makes it worse. Fifth grade. Silence becomes your love language. Your mom signs you up for t-ball. The coach quits. Choir. The sheet music bursts into flame. Scouts. 5 tenths vanish and a kid swears he saw a ghost dog chewing his sock. By 6th grade, you're known as that kid, the one who talks to the janitor like he's got secrets. Spoiler, he does. And yet, through all this, your mom keeps going. She tapes sigils on your lunchbox, hugs you with iron bracelets on her wrists, smiles like it's a shield. She makes pancakes shaped like skulls and calls them goth cakes. You never say thank you, but you never miss a bite. You learn to read Latin before you learn cursive. You start collecting old coins because they whisper. One day, your mom finds you talking to your reflection. You both freeze. She backs out of the room slowly, like she's seen it before. Cut to you, alone again. Your powers, death, shadows, depression in hoodie form. You walk into a room and it gets colder. Lights flicker. People stop talking. Conversations die like they've seen your browser history. When you're sad, the temperature drops 10 degrees and plants wither like they've given up on life. When you're mad, the earth cracks. Zombies claw their way up like interns desperate for attention. Once, during math class, you blinked and a substitute teacher aged 20 years on the spot. He retired and moved to Arizona to paint sunsets. Another time, your reflection winked at you. It hasn't stopped since. You talk back now. Sometimes it answers. Sometimes it laughs. Your school psychologist files 3 separate reports. One gets shredded. One bursts into flames. The third ends up etched into your locker door in scratchy cursive. Eventually, they stop calling home and just give you peppermint tea and a weighted blanket. At night, you dream of bones rattling in rhythm and cities made of skulls. You wake up to find handprints on your ceiling. You don't ask questions anymore. Camp Half-Blood. Summer home for weaponized trauma. You show up late, covered in soot. You walked there through a dimension you didn't know existed. You arrived holding a severed Gorgon braid and a demon's jawbone. You're not on the list, because Hades wasn't supposed to have kids. Again, oops. The other campers stare. You stare back. The air gets colder. Someone's juice box explodes. A squirrel dies. A satyr weeps. You get your own cabin. Cold marble. Black obsidian. Gothic architecture meets emotional detachment. It smells like regret and funeral lilies. One camper swears the walls whisper. Another hears their dead aunt calling them. The others avoid eye contact. Whisper, is he cursed? Do you think his pillow bleeds? You train hard. While others summon lightning or flirt with naiads, you raise an army of skeletons who try to unionize. One demands PTO, another wants dental, a third wants to start a ska band. You can shadow travel, teleportation with nausea and nosebleeds as side effects. You talk to ghosts. Most are either cryptic, confused, or your uncle who won't stop quoting tax codes from 1933. Your sword is made of Stygian iron. It eats souls. You accidentally melt a vending machine trying to get Doritos. Sometimes you just walk the boundary of camp, alone, feet sinking into earth that recognizes you, whispering trees, moonlight bending away from your silhouette. And even then, especially then, there's the wait. You once asked Chiron if monsters can be afraid. He looked at you, just looked, and said, they're terrified of you. You fall in love. Bad idea. You try to be normal. You laugh at their jokes. You bring flowers. They wilt. You suggest a movie. They pick a romantic comedy. You try not to look like a haunted shadow in the glow of the screen. They ask what your powers are. You lie. You finally get a date. Burgers. Fries. You're almost hopeful. Then a fury shows up mid-fry, screeching your full name in ancient Greek. You decapitate it. Blood and ketchup fly. Your crush screams, runs, blocks you on every app, including Venmo. Back to square one. You save people. A lot. You close death doors. Drag friends out of Tartarus. You fight monsters made of nightmares and gods with egos taller than Olympus. You once made a god flinch. It felt good, then awful. But you're never the hero in their stories. Just the weapon they point when things get desperate. You're always the last call, the forgotten plan Z. They forget your name, but remember the fear. You meet your dad eventually. Cold eyes, voice like a landslide. He says he's proud, then disappears into shadows. No hug, no warmth, just that pride, thick as marble, empty as his throne room. Your powers grow, so does the weight. Every soul you touch stays with you. Every death, every whisper, every scream no one else can hear. You don't just command the dead, you carry them. You feel their memories, their regrets, their sorrow. Sometimes it's hard to know which emotions are yours. You try to sleep, shadows curl at your feet, ghosts whisper lullabies. You wake up tired, always tired, but you keep going. Because someone has to. And then there's her, Eurydice. No, not that Eurydice. This one died in 1923, a flapper with unfinished business, a wicked laugh, and a taste for jazz and chaos. You meet her in the underworld during one of your long, sleepless ghost walks. She doesn't scream, doesn't beg, doesn't vanish. She offers you a cigarette. You don't smoke, you take it anyway. Now she lingers. She hums old songs off key, tells stories that sound like dreams and feel like scars. I once danced until the floorboards cracked, she says, as if that explains anything. She stays through battles, through silences, through the 1,000-yard stares. You ask her why she hasn't moved on. She shrugs. Maybe it's you. You laugh, then you cry. She pretends not to notice. Sometimes she sits close when the nightmares get bad. Sometimes she threatens other ghosts who try to get in your head. Sometimes she just talks to keep you tethered. She believes in you. That is terrifying. You sit alone, then you're not. A ghost drifts by, nods, sits, another joins, and another. You don't speak. You don't have to. The fire crackles like a heartbeat in the dark. The night is quiet, but it's not empty. There's warmth here. Strange, haunted warmth. Eurydice sits beside you, knees drawn up, humming something ancient and bittersweet. You stare into the flames. They don't recoil. It sucks to be a son of Hades. It's lonely, heavy, unfair, but it's yours. And in the end, you're still here, and even death needs someone to love him back.